White again. E4 this time. Alrighty. Let's go with this. And let's go with Mr. Lopez. Ruy Lopez, the Spanish opening. An oldie but a goodie. Ah. The classical line of the Ruy Lopez. What do you do in this case? Let's start off with castle. I don't know. Not sure why, but why not? Okay, D3, or do I try for D? Do I try for C3 and D4? Could I really get away with taking the knight and the pawn? I'm afraid of that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm afraid of, like, well, I don't know exactly what I'm afraid of. But I was afraid of something. It just didn't feel right. Can I get away with just saying that? It didn't feel right, so I'm not going to do it. C3 and then D4, or do I pin the knight? I really don't know. Let's try C3. Let's see. Bishop A4, Bishop E3. Actually, maybe this pin could be a bit annoying. Let me do this first. Might want to do this first just to induce some weakness. That weakness being maybe H6. Okay, now with this knight being pinned, let's connect the knights, more development in. If you're super new to chess, being fully developed implies the following: having a direct connection between both rooks, having them defend one another directly. So as soon as this queen is no longer in the back rank, mission accomplished for white. Not sure what I want to do. Well, maybe I could go with this typical maneuver. This knight F1 to G3. Hit that bishop, and then maybe do something in the center after this pin is no longer. I have invested quite a bit of time already. Alright, now decision time for my dark square bishop. I think back up and try to be a pain, I guess. Okay, so there's some weaknesses here. I will not be able to make use of G3 with my knight, but I do have the E3 square available, and then I guess I could try to pivot right here. This is definitely a bit uncomfortable, this pin that I am in right here. Let's get out of the pin, put pressure on this knight, and then my queen is actually facilitating this D4 advance. I think with this move I'm able to break in the center, and this is really what I would like to have happen right now, because these pieces are on the edge, and with this queen move it doesn't well, black is working themselves into a pin, and with this next move coming up I'm hitting that pinned piece. So this can definitely turn out to be very uncomfortable for black. It would seem like some A6 move or A6 and B5 move is going to be needed, but we're going to see about that. Well, that's what we're having now, but I think a6 is not the move to be going with at that very moment, because I could just be taking. I think after I had played d5, that was the point to do that. Now I'm up a minor piece, and it's really going to turn out to be feeling like more than me just being up a minor piece, because after I have this f3 and e4 structure, this bishop, and I guess you could also view it as this knight right here, are just kind of out of play. And to top it all off, this rook is now trapped. So the typical domino effect in chess. One piece falling, others follow shortly thereafter. So I just want to not allow f4 to be played. I am up a full rook at this point, so let's keep things nice and simple. No need to get fancy. So I'm going to go after this pawn and then get to this square. I guess that could be a good spot. Alright, and go here. He's the last piece that wasn't doing anything. There's about a minute lead for my opponent, but this is a significant material advantage to be up a rook right now. I'm on this bishop. Okay. Let's just come back. I'm going to come all the way back. The knight is boxed out for my bishop. A bishop and a knight. Let's do a flight square. A bishop and a knight that are on the same file or rank with exactly 2 squares separating them often has that bishop dominating the knight. So I'm just going to watch out for where that knight might want to go. It might want to go to b4. I guess it's maybe a bit unnecessary to be going into defensive mode like that, but can't be too bad. Just being extra cautious. And now what? Just push that a pawn to victory lane. Upcoming victory lane. Discovered tricks. Got the rook with check. Downhill, right? There we go. Alright, good game. Let's hit that back button and flip the board here. Where is there an improvement for either one of us? I was really, and you could hear it in my voice, I was just unsure of what I should even be doing right here. I did consider maybe chopping the knight and then this pawn. Doing it a move earlier, I definitely know that there's a way to get it back. Like right here, take the knight, recapture. If I grab this pawn, there's queen here, or bishop takes pawn first with queen to d4 type of combinations. But right here, I might have a way to actually pick up this pawn. It was I don't know, it was a little bit scary for me. But I went with the slower approach, just getting in development. And where is there something? I don't know that this is... Okay, how about this? The knight move seems a bit off. Taking it out of the center, because if I'm able to make a break in the center, and this right here could be your little, I guess, cue to know whether or not maybe it's a good idea to be running with or not. It's not quite a position where the center has officially been locked up or closed. And so I don't know if getting into or considering the maneuvering type of moves is best. Throwing it to the edge and releasing control over these two light squares. I do get this d4 break in successfully. So maybe bishop here, and if you wanted to, maybe then knight h5 to f4 real quick. Maybe this is where your knight belongs. I see the idea, knight here so you can get f5 in, but I make that break. So that's one suggestion, to maybe tuck the bishop back and look for knight h5, f4. And you know what, maybe that's a typical type of thing to be running with, because you know, you make these pawn moves, you break the pin, And you could also view it as, you know, supporting an eventual knight on f4. You have two pawns there. It's tough to kick away a knight on that f4 square, a black knight on f4, because I have a bishop on g3. And there's no pawn to g3 move there as a result. Maybe moving your knight right away, and at the very least right here, a6 ends up losing material, so it's way downhill from here. I think backing up the bishop, and then if this move, then the a6 move gets played. I think at the very least I end up with the pawn, but it won't be me being up a minor piece if you go with just bishop back, pawn here, and only then a6. That'll be an improvement and hang on to more material for black.